And we're live. That's very, very good. Hello and welcome to the Low Pass podcast with me here, Jakob Huck from Hack Attack. We got Bo from Bo Beats and Accurate Beat, Andreas from Accurate Beats. And we're ready to talk some stuff about music. Why don't one of you guys take over where I'm leaving right now?
All right, so we usually start off the podcast with talking a little bit about where we at in our own process with the music, with the YouTube, general life stuff if we want to share something. So I'd just like to, point the camera at Andreas and Accurate and ask away. So what you've been up to lately and how's the music going, Andreas?
It's funny you ask me first because I've had two really hard weeks, I guess. I haven't made much music at all, and I haven't done any videos or anything like that. I've changed my regular job from one job to another, so a lot of personal stuff and a lot of normal work stuff for me. So, but I'm still making beats, and I'm working on my slowly working on my instrumental album I'm gonna release. So that's what's up. But these 2 weeks has been really bad for me.
Yeah, and you're coming off quite a long period of, like, was it 12 days? You did a lot of stuff on your channel, right?
Yeah, I did. And I'm 12, 13 days something. I made one video a day, and right now I don't want to make any videos right now, but I will do videos, and I will make more live streams and stuff like that. But right now I just feel like making some music without having the camera on. That's also a nice thing to do from time to time, I think.
Definitely. So you've been me and Jacob, we of course catched your live stream, but could you perhaps tell the audience a little bit about how that went? You've been doing like a couple of them.
Yeah, I made like a long one that was like over an hour long, and a little bit of music making and a whole lot of just talking to my people in the chat room. So 1 or 2 days after that, I decided I just want to make music on a live stream. So I did a 15-18 minutes long video just messing around on the open one. I really enjoy that. I really do. Just making music in front of a small audience on YouTube without having to talk a lot about what I'm doing. Just making some music. That's what I want to do.
So do you think did you get a good reception, or how did you feel that the crowd responded?
I don't know. That's nice. I just I'm trying to get better at relaxing when I'm doing stuff, and not being so tensed and not caring too much about how things go. So that's a nice thing for me, just to go on a live stream and try to make something. And I really don't want to analyze how it went or how many people watched or how. I'm doing it for the fun of it. And the video is still up on YouTube, so it still collects views every day. So
that's super cool. So Jacob, what have you been up to lately?
Sorry, I was answering in the chat room. We'll be trying to keep checking the chat room. We were not too good at that last time, but we're going to be this time. So just comment away if you have any questions and stuff like that. Well, what I've been doing so far is I've been planning for the year. I talked a little bit about that, but I think I went back and looked at it, and I think I sound a little bit grumpy. And actually I was a bit, but not that grumpy. So I've been planning on some new stuff for the studio and to rebuild it, and also getting a new iPad of some sort, stuff like that. So what I've been doing lately is I've just been planning for that, and I've done videos in advance now. So I have a few videos because I've got some work I have to do for developers and stuff.
Cool.
But right now I'm into just trying to interact with the iPad with hardware and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard. I feel like I'm all over the place with my thoughts when it comes to what I'm doing right now. I'll probably know better next time. I think I said that last time, right?
Yeah, you did, I think. Now, Jacob, remember with the mic, it's popping a lot. Yeah.
Is it popping now?
No, you're popping.
Oh,
No, but yeah, you said it last time that you've been a bit all over the place with your music and the channel and everything. But eventually it'll probably come together. We all have those periods of time when when we are not in focus, we don't have the clear goal in mind. So anything else, Jacob, that is going on?
no, other than I've had a lot of fun. I basically had a lot of fun because a new app come out that is called Troublemaker, and
you did a live stream on it, right?
Yeah, I did, and it was awesome. And we even had the developer in there answering questions, which is it's just, these are my heroes. The developers are my heroes because they make the stuff that allows me to produce the way I want to produce. So that's amazing. It's an incredible app. It's not a 303, but if you like 303s, you'll probably like that one. And I've got some cool stuff planned with it, with some pad controllers and things, just controlling it like that.
Yeah, I was checking out your live stream. I don't really like the 303 sound, but I really like the Troublemaker app. It sounded really cool. Had some cool flexibility and functionality. I thought it was really nice.
Yeah, I like it because Brambos, who made it, he didn't go for a regular just keyboard control to input notes. He chose to make something that was more suited for the touchscreen, which is brilliant. So he was using the platform, and he also put other waveforms in there than just the square and saw wave. So yeah, it's immensely more useful than normal 303 clones.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But Jacob, you also did that. You did a video on it, just creating a rave track with the app, right?
Yeah.
I think that was a real cool video because everything seemed so seamless. Both that synthesizer and the DM1 drum machine thing. Really nice flow in that video. I liked it a lot.
Oh, thank you. And all of that is edited in the video editing. Is just one single shot throughout from one camera, my iPhone. And then I edited the clip in CapCut Pro. So all the zooms and everything is just edits in CapCut Pro. Just simplest video editing app there is.
Yeah, it looked nice, and you really got the feeling that everything was made right then and there. It was a good flow of the music making, not just the video, just the workflow of that app and the other app and everything just worked together. That's how I wish I could use an iPad, I guess.
Yeah, well, you use other stuff like that. I've been inspired by people doing live stuff, and especially when I found your channel and Bo's channel, I've been looking at your improvs and stuff like that. So you're inspiring me to do that too. Plus my viewers are asking me to do more live stuff, and I'm grateful for that too because I'm having fun.
Yeah, I think definitely there's a future in the live streaming side of things. I mean, it's something that's really growing at the moment, whether it's music or whether it's gaming or whatever. It's really getting big, and I think it suits us, music makers, because we get that. I remember on your end, Accurate, you actually interacted really nicely with the chat. You asked like, okay, how am I going to pitch the samples up and down, and and then you and you can tell the audience what happened.
Yeah, I want to do another video like that, but on the machine that's actually a bit faster for me to work in, and let the audience, if I have any audience, almost pick and choose everything I go through, pitching up or down, doing the drums fast or slow, or making the BPM fast or slow, making it a happy track or a sad track, because I think that's really funny. That's really fun. Just sitting at home by myself making beats, I love that. I love that for my entire life. But having people online telling me in real time what they want to hear, that's a cool challenge, I think.
Yeah, but you did change back from their decision.
Yeah, of course I did. I can't pitch a sample like that down. That was a bad decision, so I had to switch it up.
I just saw Accurate's face, when it's down. It's like, really down? Oh, I'm not sure about that. But I thought
I
it
did.
sounded really cool. So that's
Yeah,
also
but-
something really fun, different tastes, and that really shows in the live stream. And then you pitched it back, and things developed very organically, and I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah, and I
So-
think that's a fun thing when I'm working with samples too, because a simple decision like that, whether you're gonna pitch it up or pitch it down, that makes a very big difference in how you think about the sample and how the track is gonna come out. So I made a track on the pitched down one, and I tried to make something on the same sample but pitched up. So yeah, I think that's a cool concept, and I want to do more of it. So
That's really, really, really cool.
but what
So,
about
Bo,
you?
Yeah, you. Come on,
Yeah.
tell us.
January, tell us about it.
Yeah. So just like you said, accurate. I've also had some life changes, but we'll probably get into those later in the show. Positive changes, but still. But I think I've been pretty productive. Made a couple of videos, made some music. I've also put in some hours into the Circuit Editor Pro because I'm doing a lot of videos on the Circuit, and there's a Pro version coming of the editor. It has a lot of randomization functions. So that's something I've been spending time with, just checking it out. I made a little video on it on my channel. It's totally crazy. Just press a button and the synth goes kaboom. It's like goes all crazy. So I had a lot of fun with that. So I don't know. Yeah, I did. I started like a new series on my channel as well, talking about gear. I'm calling it the gas leak because gear acquisition syndrome, gas leak. Because I love hyping gear. I love talking about gear, and people say that I'm enthusiastic about stuff, and that I give people gas. Wants them, gives them the feeling, or makes them want to buy stuff. So I thought me talking about gear, even if I hadn't tried it, would be pretty fun. And I got really nice reception of that video. So it's like the drama videos we talked about last time, but without the drama.
It sounds good, actually.
Yeah. Without the depressing comments.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I think that's been the stuff that's been occupying me the most.
Yeah, and I think I've seen you make more music on your channel the last like 2 weeks than I have before, because the January thing.
Yeah, true.
Cuckoo?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think from I try to so for the viewers that doesn't know, there's been this themed challenge going on that we make one jam every day. It doesn't have to be a finished song, could just be some noodling on a synthesizer. And I think it was Cuckoo who started it. I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like that. Cuckoo is one of the bigger music YouTubers out there, I think, at least when it comes to music production. So there's been a lot of people posting stuff on Instagram, on YouTube, Facebook, and so on. So I made a couple, but then I got sick this weekend. I got really, really sick. So I had to I can't focus on it. I have to focus my energy on other things. So I had to throw in the towel for the time being. But it was really fun. I actually did a couple of jams where I sung a bit as well, but I didn't record them. I didn't really feel comfortable singing, without having the time on the lyrics and so on. But it was really fun, pushing yourself.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. I think about this, the whole thing about making music on YouTube. I tend to challenge myself more when I know I'm going to put it on YouTube than I challenge myself and I'm just making it for a beat tape or whatever. I think that's something about the audience on YouTube being so positive. So you want to challenge yourself and you want to grow constantly, and that's a beautiful thing with YouTube. I think.
Definitely. All right. So do we feel content with this little introduction presentation summary of the time?
Let's get YouTube out of the way.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah. All right. So we got a second or a first topic for this podcast, and it's about the newly announced MPC Live and MPC X samplers from AKAI. So do you any of you guys want to take off on that?
Well, I can start.
Do it.
Yeah, so I hope people don't get angry with me, but I can't use the MPCs, none of them, and I've had experience with them in the past, and especially with the old ones like the MPC 60, MPC 60. I think that came out in 1990 or something like that. I don't remember, but it had about like 12 seconds, 13 seconds of sampling space and stuff like that. I never got to be friends with it. I borrowed that thing, and I got so angry with it, so I left it back at my friend's place. And then I got to borrow an MPC 3000, and same thing there. You know, loads of space compared to the old one. It came out sometime during the 90s, and I just couldn't befriend the interface. I actually ended up hating myself for being stupid, not to understand how to use it. And then it went on for several years. I saw several models come out, and then I tried using the MPC, the iMPC for iPad. And the thing is, you know, I'm working on a flat surface, and it's nothing like the real thing. But still, I had the same feelings I had from back then. I just got angry with it.
Yeah.
I can't get to know it. So it goes out of my mind. I don't want to know the product. I don't want to know it. It's just I can't. I love the music people make with it, and I love how other people use it. I've seen some really talented musicians, and I envy them so much because I don't get the MPC. I don't get it.
What about it don't you understand? What is it that confuses you or makes you the most angry?
It's like when I start working with it, with the menus and stuff, there's something in there just stopping my workflow. It's like I'm going up against the wall. I can't exactly tell you where it stops, but there's something about the interface and the menus and the buttons, and I'm getting so angry.
Okay, so it's the workflow mainly. It's
Yes.
not the sound of it or not the pads itself. It's just
it
the workflow.
sounds great. It sounds great. I love the way it sounds, and as I said, I love the music people make with it, but I just can't. I can't get to know it. I won't become friends with it. I think it's me. It's not the thing. It's me.
Classic comment.
Yeah, and from this bunch. No, sorry.
What's your thoughts?
No, I just think out of the three of us, I guess I'm the most hip-hop oriented music-wise, and I guess I should be super excited about the MPC X, MPC Live, but I've never had an MPC at home. I've never owned an MPC. I've had the SP404 from Roland, that's a sampler, and I've had the machine. Plus, I've used the OP1 for a bunch of years now. So, culture-wise and reference-wise, I really love the MPC. I love the MPC 2000 and the MPC 60 because the classic hip-hop that's been made on it. I mean, DJ Premier is still using his MPC 60 as far as I know. So I got a bit confused when AKAI dropped the MPC Renaissance back in the day, because that just seemed like a worse version of the machine. I felt like AKAI took the concept from Native Instruments and tried to make their own thing out of the MPC name and brand, and I didn't like that. I didn't like how they did it, and I know people who uses the MPC Renaissance as well, and they love it as much as I love the machine. So I guess it's a similar device and a similar thing, and I have the same kind of respect for that. But when people want, this is just my crazy thoughts. When people ask for a new computerless standalone MPC, I don't think many people want a big touchscreen on top of it. I might be wrong right there, because maybe people love that thing and pinch to zoom and all that. But for me, a hardware sampler should be hardware. Just screens, of course. You have to be able to adjust your samples and stuff like that. But I want knobs. I want pads. Maybe what are they called, faders. But I don't want a touchscreen. In that case, I have an iPad, and if I want the iPad attached to a thing, that's cool. But I want to use knobs, and I want an MPC to have knobs instead of a touchscreen. That's just me being old school, I guess.
Yeah, I had a viewer on my channel because I did a video on the MPCX and the live. He said, like, you know, he like pointed out, like, there are a couple of things that really, you know, that really seems to be selling at the moment, and touch being one of them. It's sort of, you know, I personally feel that touch is already getting a bit old, not on an iPad, but it's, you know, it's getting old on a standalone kind of product, like the MPC Live. It feels like it can easily become a gimmick. But he pointed out, you know, it's probably a selling point to a lot of people, you know, that doesn't share your sentiments or your perspective.
Yeah. And I totally get that, but I think if you're looking for a new market that thinks that touchscreen is a selling point, yeah, I think you should sell them one of those things, like the Rolly blocks. That's cool for someone who likes or who wants touchscreens, and I totally get that. But I think the MPC should I think the MPC should stay with the old school kind of thing, and maybe not. No, I'm not saying they should make another MPC 2000 XL. No, but do something like that and just keep it.
Okay, so here's the question. Here's a question for you guys. So why is it that AKAI, they go from these hugely successful, like, cultural landmarks of products, the MPCs, the hardware MPCs, and they go into trying to compete with native instruments, with the Renaissance and the Touch, and then when they make hardware, they kind of make this hybrid thing instead of doing. My question is, why do you think they aren't doing the same thing as, say, Roland successfully is doing? Roland are reinventing or not reinventing, but they're rehashing their old stuff, and they seem to sell a lot of them. Do you have any ideas, Jacob?
They still Roland get a lot of criticism because of just they're not inventive enough. They're not doing anything new. They're just remarketing their old things, and I can feel harshly about that too. But I think if you're going to do something new, make it good, make it cool, and make it outstanding in some way. Not just an old MPC with an iPad on top of it, because I don't think that's cool. I don't think that's new. That's just a hybrid.
That was my first thought when I saw it. Like, why did they put an iPad on the MPC?
I was gonna comment on that. The thing is, it looks like AKAI went and thought, like, how can we reinvent something or do something new? And it's like someone just sat down and looked up buzzwords, and then they made stuff from buzzwords, and they literally stuck something that is just 1 inch smaller than the iPad mini on there. And I just I don't okay. The thing is, they wanted to make something new, and I have respect for that. I have respect for AKAI for doing it, and I love Roland stuff, but I do agree with many people saying that you're just doing the same thing and you're making it smaller. And I think that is a response to what Korg is doing. They're allowing a lot of people start very easily with real analog synths in very small formats and stuff like that, which is brilliant. So everyone wants their own little niche of more like cheaper stuff to sell. But this thing with the MPC, I don't understand it. I agree with Andreas. I would, as like a hardware user, I would want like a 20-digit display, and then I want hardware on it. I want hardware on it. I don't think I want to touch a touch screen, especially not when I'm performing on a hardware controller or hardware device. I mean, I perform with iPads, but it's so different.
Yeah, I'm still wondering, like somebody pointed out here in the chat, Bantam pointed out, or no, Mark Harris pointed out that it probably comes down to their market research. But I'm still a bit curious because these are quite expensive products. The Live is about, I think it's $1,200, and the bigger X is $2,000. so these are expensive products from, say, if you're between like 20 and 30, it's quite a lot of money. So I'm still wondering, like, what part of the market are they sort of targeting with the touch screen in itself? Because to me, it seems like people our age, like 30 plus, even people 40 plus who grew up with MPC and, you know, started to love that. It doesn't seem to me like that's an audience that go like, oh my God, it has a touch screen, I have to buy it. It doesn't seem like that.
Of course not. But I think the audience they're looking for here is the younger cats who wants to make music, not necessarily beats or hip hop. Just look at the demo. That wasn't a hip hop beat. That wasn't aimed for hip hop producers. But I totally get why people want to take the computer and just throw it out a window and work on something similar. I totally understand that. Yeah,
definitely.
But I still think it's a coward thing for AKAI to do. Just add the MPC name to something that's an MPC but still an iPad, and all the inputs and outputs on the X version. That's great. That's awesome. I really get that. I don't hate on the product. I just hate on AKAI for making such a coward move. I think the product in itself, if it wasn't AKAI, if it was like Roland or Pioneer or somebody who made something like this.
Yeah, like Pioneer actually did. Pioneer did the...
Yeah, but that one sucked. That one doesn't count.
No, seriously. Their Thorace, it has a pretty good rep at the moment, from what I can read on the forums. People seem to like it. It seems very like sturdy and well built, but it's still early in its development, sort of, because they are still developing the software. But I think it looks promising in some ways, but it's still super expensive, and it's not something I'd pick up. But actually, I've seen a lot of people who have actually used it, you know, actually sat down with it, who seem to like it. So I think there's
okay, so that's also a good product. I'm not saying much about that. I just, of course it's going to be expensive. Of course it's going to be pricey. If you have everything on it, if you can sample, you can use it as an interface, you can make full tracks on it and then arrange stuff without the hassle of everything that comes with the computer. Yeah, that's great. And of course it's going to be expensive. Just look at the OP1 that I'm using every week. It's super expensive, but it has sequencers and stuff like that, and all the things that I think some of these devices do, but in a smaller form factor, and of course not as elaborate. But of course it's going to be expensive. I've had a thought for a while that I'm going to buy one of those small PC computers that comes in a stick this big that just runs on HDMI and some kind of USB power, and put that into what's that called? A machine micro. Without a screen. Just use an iPhone for the screen and just see if one of those small computers actually can run the software of Native Instruments machine on the machine micro. And I think it's gonna function. So what they did from AKAI, they took a big old MPC shell, stuck a small computer in there, because what's the computer like? It's 2 gigs of RAM and like 16 gigs of hard drive space, I think.
Yeah, you can add a hard drive to it as well. So
but
you can add it.
And it runs
it's a very
some
limited.
kind of Unix.
I think it's. I'm not really sure on the CPU specs. Somebody wrote it to me. I think it's like 1.8 or 1.9 gigahertz. But it's a. I couldn't really decipher what kind of processor it was, but it wasn't really a. I wouldn't say it's a fast processor. It's.
I have one of those Asus, those mini laptops, from 2008. That has a 1.6 gigahertz processor.
Yeah.
And that's from 2008. So just take a really small, really old computer, stuck it into something, and just add ins and outs, some software that runs on some kind of Linux version. Yeah, it's going to work and it's going to be fine. But I think AKAI has made a lot of bad choices over the years. They have released stuff that wasn't finished, and just look at the MPC software when they first released MPC Renaissance. It just didn't work for anyone, and they had to go like I think it was like 5 or 6 updates until people thought like, yeah, I can use this for real. I can make music on it. But
Yeah.
when they released it, it wasn't finished. So
yeah, that's been like one of the biggest comments I had on my video on it. Like a lot of people pointed that out, because I said in my video that they have to succeed in pretty much every respect, in pretty much every design part of this product, because otherwise it will not be a good. It's this kind of product where every part has to work. It can't be a shitty touch interface. It can't be a shitty pads or something, because people won't like that. It will get a bad rep. So I really hope that they put down the time to make it really, really nice. And a lot of people pointed out that their track record with the touch and the Renaissance was pretty bad. I haven't tried it myself, so I can't say, but
no, I haven't worked much on the Renaissance either, and I have friends that loves it, but still, stop releasing stuff that ain't finished, and stop doing things just to get the quick buzz. And I think that's I do think the MPC X is a good device. I do think so, but the amount of years it took for them to develop this thing, they started competing with Machine, and I don't think they ever caught up with them. And right now they're releasing a new device, and I really don't trust it. Somebody needs to show me how it works and just make it work, and I'm gonna be there. Yeah. Jacob,
take it away, Jacob. Any final thoughts on the MPC Live or X?
Well,
from the discussion here we've had,
looking at the thing, I think it looks gorgeous. So I do think they did some awesome with the design there. I mean, it looks black on red, and red on black is always very sexy. And I do like the look of the smaller one, and I do want to try it out. So I'm going to go down to 4Sound here in Stockholm and look at it when it arrives, if they get their thumbs out of there and get it in there. So I'll be looking at it, definitely. But I don't have any more thoughts other than this is not something I want in my studio. No way.
Okay, so here's the thought. What I found kind of the most baffling thought for me was that they made the live, and the live made sense to me because I really enjoy, I love my Electron boxes, like you said in the chat earlier, Accurate. I love my Electron boxes, and they are, they're about the same form factor as the MPC Live. And, having that with battery, taking it with you when you're on vacation or something, that makes a lot of sense to me. But the bigger one, of course, they will have a bigger one for all the studios, the people with money, But I still, having a kind of standalone big ass box like that didn't make a lot of sense to me. It probably will. I mean, somebody will probably point out why, but it's like, why would you like to move something that is that big and requires external power? The chat can probably come up with a million reasons, but it didn't make sense to me. What do you think?
Well, I think you have to look right behind your right shoulder, because that's the MPC. No, sorry, that's the Machine Studio, right?
Yeah.
And that has a separate wall power as well. And I think that's crazy for a device that needs to be run on a computer and actually is just a controller.
Yeah, so, but the thing is, that's already hooked up to a computer. You already know that when you purchase it, you have to have a computer. So that if you want to be mobile, you buy the MK2 or the Micro. But with the big MPC X, I mean, it's a standalone unit. But who has a studio that needs a standalone unit like that? I mean, for that price, I mean, if you don't have anything and you buy it, it will give you so much value for your money. But if I would add it here, why would I could ask.
No, I don't think it's a product for you. It doesn't fit you. You have a studio, so you don't want it. I think it's aimed for people who are younger and who's just wanting to. I get questions, and you do too, on your YouTube channel. What should I get as a beginner for starting to make beats? And the MPC X is just the answer.
Yeah.
What should you get? You should get that one. You don't need to buy a computer. You don't need to think about how much RAM you got, how much hard drive you got. You just need to buy one device and that's it. So I think it's for those guys. It just needs a quick and easy and one simple solution.
Yeah.
For those people,
and
I think it's great. For studio guys, I don't know.
Yeah, and I think somebody, like I told you, somebody in chat already pointed out that having these hardware standalone units, of course, keeps you less distracted, more focused on what you're doing. No Facebook, no nothing, and yeah, that's a very valid point, very, very good point indeed. But it was something that I've been thinking a lot about. But they'll probably, my guess is that they will sell. As long as it's not totally shit, they will sell a lot of them, I think, because it's such a unique product with a big brand attached to it and a big name attached to it.
Yeah, what I'm actually hoping is that other developers is going to take after this, because we need more standalone samplers. That's where hip hop came from, and I think that's where hip hop, in one way, should stay or go back. I love my machine. I've said that like 1,000 times, but I think standalone samplers, that's a cool thing. You can actually go to a record store, hook up one of those small Numark remix turntables, just plug it into your sampler and make a beat on the fly. And I think that's a cool thing. So I want to see more people do maybe smaller samplers. And I really want to see a new sampler from Roland. That's what I want to do. A real hardware sampler from Roland. So I think this is maybe pushing the whole industry to, in my point, great direction. So
yeah, I love the direction as well. What do you think, Jacob? Is this sort of a direction you're looking forward to, or you don't care, or?
Are we still talking about the AKAI, the new one?
Yeah, we do.
No,
All
we're
right,
talking
okay.
about the direction here.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I've only got one more thing to say about that.
Yeah.
When I saw the first initial video, when they released like a video and like, here it is, and they were talking about 2 minutes of that entire 3-minute video, and then half of it was just playing loops. It didn't impress me one bit. And the thing is, I just did it as a joke. I sat down with my iPad and my pad controller and did the same thing with 2 apps working at the same time on my iPad, and I made that as a joke in front of my girlfriend, and I was just emulating what he did. So what I want to do is I want to see someone use that thing more, and then maybe I'll have something more to say about it. Yeah,
Sure. Good point. I think that's a good end note for this subject, don't you think?
Yeah. What's the next topic?
Let's just go on. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. All right. So we had a second topic that we had planned for today, and it was the topic was finding time for music. And I mean that's it's an endless topic. So Jacob, do you wanna
Yes.
Do you want to take over from here with the finding time for music? What's your initial thoughts on the matter?
Well, finding time for music is such to say a big topic. The way I found time for music was changing my platform. Changing to a platform that was more limited in the way I could work and the amount of tools I had and stuff. So when I went iOS, I found time for music everywhere I was, and I still do. On the bus, in city, when I'm waiting for something, I don't ever have to wait to get to some place to make music. I have the music making stuff with me. So I can't even begin to emphasize how much more creative I am since I went over to iOS. I find time for music anytime. You know, when you wake up in the middle of the night and you have something in your head and you want to get it on, I don't want to run up and just boot up a big platform or lots of stuff and connect this to that. I just want something complete to do everything on instantly. And I have gotten that only with iOS. Like, for instance, the app Figure. I can find time for that any day, even when I'm on the toilet. I'm not saying that I'm making beats
Oh, yes,
on
you
the
are.
toilet.
Yes, that's exactly
we
what
all know what you're doing there.
I'll take that as a comment. And the thing is, I can't find time for. I even make music when I'm cooking and boiling milk for my coffee, which is a really bad thing because I usually end up burning the milk. But you see, I can find time for music anytime just because it's available to me. I don't get that with other stuff. I mean, sure, you could just grab a Volca bass and then fire it up. But if I want to add drums to that, then I need to connect it to something else.
Yeah.
And with Figure or Chaos Slate or anything else, just to get my ideas in bass, lead, and drums, it's all there at a finger's touch, and that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
Accurate. What's your take on the mobile side of things that Jacob is talking about? Do you have any? Do you bring your stuff with you, or?
I do sometimes with the OP1, or maybe I'm always carrying an iPhone in my pocket. So yeah, but do I often use my iPad or my iPhone to make music? No. Maybe because that's because I'm sample based in my music and I want to sample stuff. And if you want to do that on the iPhone or the iPad, you have to like put stuff on Dropbox and import them, and it's a bit hassle. So the mobility thing for me, no, that's actually not a big thing. If I go to Gothenburg to see my friends in my crew, Mokat Clone, I can bring my OP1 and I can sample something right off the back, and I can just make a beat. But that's not how I find the time for music. I understand that Jacob do, and I want to be more like that. But if I do something in Gadget or a Figure, that's great apps, but I don't use them on my beat tapes or in my videos or whatever. I just don't get the satisfaction. I don't get satisfied doing stuff like that. I need my samples and I need my gear, this little setup I have. So the mobility thing, no, not big for me. What about you?
How do you go about finding time? Because we know, as you said earlier, you work, you have a family life. So what's your strategy?
Well, evenings and nighttime. That's basically my answer. I put my daughter to bed and I just go in here sometimes. The change I've made over the years is that I don't go in here to my little music room, my home studio, whatever, and just jam anymore. I don't. I produce music. So I go in here with a goal. I'm gonna make a track. Then I'm making a track. It might be great, it might suck, but I don't just go in here and I'm gonna do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. No, I get very focused and I go in here to make something. So I think I have like optimized how I use my time instead of getting more time, because I have a super small amount of time. So I'm trying to get as much out of it as I can. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely not. I'm not an iPad musician like Jacob is. I have a hard time enjoying using the iPad for that. But there's so much going into that, because it also has a lot of, like you say, accurate. With if I make something on the iPad, I have a very hard time transitioning it into something else entirely. It's just very hard for me to find the motivation to do that. But when I went back to hardware stuff like a year ago or a little bit more, I picked up, for example, the pocket operators from Teenage Engineering, and I mean those are really fun to bring with you, and that's also a very different way for me to make music. Just finding time on a bus or when I'm commuting or something, and make like a full track just using it, and then I won't like use it into a bigger song or something. I would just that will be my song on that little device. So that's one way to find a bit of extra time that I've started doing if we talk about the mobility thing. But then I guess I'm like where you're at, accurate, with with having a family and having, to spend time on that, it actually made me more productive, because I realized, like, before I had like this much time, it's insane amount of time, and suddenly when I got a kid, it shrunk a lot.
Yeah.
So, and I had to focus. And I'm the kind of guy who really needs to focus in order to. When I'm focused, I'm super productive. When I'm unfocused, I don't get anything done. I can't do things half-arsed. I usually say I'm not a marathon kind of guy. I'm more a sprinter. I like chill for 3 days, and then I do 10 videos on one day, and then then I chill for 3 days. That's sort of more my style.
Yeah,
so
and
that, yeah.
yeah, someone in the chat room mentioned the same thing that you're doing. The less amount of time you have, the more productive you have to get, and that's what happened to me too. I started the Move Cut Clone, the collective I'm a part of, which made me have to make music, because we should put out cassettes and we should do stuff on SoundCloud and stuff. So I had to make music because of that, and the time I had just shrunk when I got a kid. So connecting with people I enjoyed working with, and focusing my time on the right things, that made me much more productive. I don't know if my music is better or worse now than when I could work on a track for 3 weeks, but I enjoy it much more, and I get more music out there. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah, I think it's something that really, baffled me a little bit when when I started to work a lot more, like about 10 years ago, and I realized, like, okay, suddenly I don't have all this time that I had when I was a student, and I really have to start to plan my time. So how do you do it, Jacob? Do you have, like, how much time can you devote in a week, like, to music?
Well, right now, I don't have a job. I don't have a job during winters. So right now I'm spending all of my time on Hack Attack and trying to interact with the viewers and help through comments and answering emails and just help with everything and make videos. So when I make music, I always make music for videos. I don't think I'm gonna make music for a album. I think I'm making music so that I can do something cool with it for a video. So I focus on making the video, and when I focused on making the video, then I also need I need music for it. So then I take that idea I got from the morning that I put into Figure, and there it goes on. And sometimes it might be that a new app comes out, I test it, and then I realize I can use this, so this will become a video. Now I have to make music for it. So if I spend 8 hours on making a video that day or more, then out of those hours, none of those hours is music. The music is outside that. So it can happen in the morning, it can happen in the evening, and then I'll have to make the video the day after. But I manage to find time whenever. I don't have children, and I don't have a regular job right now. So I can use all of my time for this, and I do. So it's not like I ever sit and do anything, like nothing. I'm also like that. I have to be focused on what I do. And since I'm alone with all of this, I can focus fully. And that's how I'm able to go in 100% with everything I'm doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's a really interesting point you're bringing up, because this is the interesting thing here with like the psychology of being creative and getting things done, is that the way you're structuring, like, your everyday around this very clear project lets you make music, or it creates the time for music, because you need to make the music in order to make the videos, in order to complete this project. It's like with January, if we set a goal, I'm going to jam every day and upload and or your 12 days of Christmas, Andreas. It's like that's a different spin on things. Instead of saying, like, okay, how do I get the time, it's more like, okay, if I have a goal, I will find the time more easily. So that's really a really important aspect, I think.
Yeah, and that's when we're talking about YouTube and making videos once again. I think that's a big difference for me. I don't mix my music anymore. That's one thing. I can spend hours on mixing stuff before. I could sit with a limiter or a compressor or even an equalizer and just tweak settings for hours, not know exactly how I want the snare to sound compared to the hi-hat. Right now, I do stuff super fast, super quick. Okay, it's way too much bass on this hi-hat sample. Just put a high pass filter on it and just switch. Yeah, okay, it sounds better. It doesn't have to sound perfect. It just sounds better. And on to the next thing. And when I've made a track, okay, it sounds nice in my headphones, but I guess the volume is too low. Okay, then I just fire up the isotope alloy, whatever it's called, limiter, crank it up, and I'm all good. So that's one way I really have focused my time on making music and be creative instead of.
How come you moved away from mixing so much?
I just hate it, and it takes too much time. When I have my daughter and I can't afford to take as much time as I did before.
Yeah. Okay. So here's an important.
Cut down on something. So I cut down on the mixing time.
Yeah. So here's an important question. I think that the chat would probably be interested in. Do you think that your songs sound worse now, in some way, than before?
You mean after I stopped mixing them?
Yeah. Is that like your? How do you feel?
Okay, I'm exaggerating a bit. Of course, I'm mixing my stuff, but I'm not spending times of hours just working on a mix. And I think my music sounds better.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
You've been doing this for some time, and this is what it is for me. I've cut down on my mixing a lot, but that's because I do the mixing while I'm building my stuff. Yeah. So it's already done. When you're done, you're done. And then afterwards, you just need to do a few touches. You probably know how you want the stuff to sound when you're working on it because you've been doing it so much. So now you can cut.
What happened before for me was I started out with a shitty idea and a shitty track, and it sounded shitty. So I needed to mix it a lot just to make it better. The way I work now, the music sounds pretty good from the beginning, and I know what I'm doing. So the mixing is better from the startup, is exactly as you're saying, and I don't need to work that much on it. When I was younger, or maybe it's like 10 years ago, I had to do a lot of mixing because everything sounded bad. I didn't know how to put the bass line and a kick drum together. Now I know. I'm not picking a kick drum and a bass line that collides and
Sorry, go Bo.
No, go Jacob.
Yeah, it's a really good point. What you said, I don't choose a kick drum that doesn't go well with a snare drum. I'm the same way. I just know what frequencies works with each other. So after we've been doing this for so long, because we all have, it's easier now for us, and we don't have to spend that time mixing it. Yes.
Plus, I know what I want to do. I know what I want to make. Before, I didn't know what kind of snare I wanted to make. So I had to mix it once, mix it twice, mix it 3 times, and change it out. Right now, I know what my snare should sound like. I know what I'm aiming for because I know my own style. I know what do I want to make, and I know how to make it. It's not just that I know how to make it. I know what I want to make as well. And I think that's very important for me. I'm not sitting here with, oh, is that kick drum nice? It sounds like from a rave song. No, I know from the beginning, I'm not going to like that sound.
It's like on the live stream when you're like directly like, no, I don't want to pitch down. It was so evident. You know, you could see it on your face. Like, this won't work for you at least.
No, because cool. I think that's my integrity as an artist, or what you want to call this. And I think that's important to develop. Of course, you need to be flexible, and you need to be able to change things up. But you also need to know yourself and your limitations and your style.
Yeah. And when you do that, and I think to bring it back to the topic of, you know, finding time. I mean, the phrasing of the question is problematic in itself. And I think that's why we're discussing it, because it's not about, perhaps it's not so much about finding time as in a space of time in the week. It's more like finding the project, finding the goal, finding the theme or whatever, finding yourself, like you're talking about, accurate, finding your, you know, not to get too philosophical, but finding what works for you and sticking with it, and learning, not only having the knowledge, but having the sort of this personal feeling for what you're doing, and knowing when you feel good about something that this will work. So I think that's because then, like you say, it doesn't take all that much time. You can devote the time to something else instead. I can just chime in and say that I too spend a lot less time worrying about mixing. I honestly don't care. I don't think about mixing as something I really need to bother myself with today, like it did like 5-6 years ago. This was a huge thing, mixing, and it also had to do with my mindset that I'm a music producer, and a music producer should know mastering, mixing, making songs, and suddenly I realized, like, but I don't care about mixing, and I don't care about mastering, and it doesn't, focusing on those two things doesn't make my music any better. So I really had to, you know, let that go. You know, I don't have a lot of, if people should see my plugin park for Cubase 8, I don't have a lot of plugins because I use like the standard stuff. Because why would I need the Waves Pro stuff? I had it before, but why would I need it now? Because, you know, it sounds good enough with the stock plugins, and that's sort of advice I have. Don't put your time. This is a really good advice for a beginner. Don't use your time learning stuff, or spending time to learn a lot of tools that you won't need, a lot of complicated tools. I mean, if you have a basic compressor, a EQ, a decent reverb, those things, you know, you can do a lot of things with those, the stock stuff, and spend the time actually polishing your music making skills, or what we want to call it, instead. And that's a really good way to you know, finding more time.
Yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting, but the thing I'm getting from what we're talking about here, number one, experience will allow you to drop time on doing stuff that you begin by doing, right? So that's experience. And then I had a really nice thing that would make me sound really smart, but I end up sounding stupid now because I forgot what I was going to say. So anyone can just chime in.
I think what you're saying is super correct, Bo, because it's all about plugins and stuff like that for me as well. Spending time mixing, that's not just mixing, that's getting to know my plugins and try different plugins. I also had the Waves, one of those Waves sets of plugins, and I've used different kinds of things for a lot of years, and I know how stuff works. But right now I'm just using the almost, I'm just sticking to all the effects in the machine, actually, plus the isotope alloy limiter, because that's a different kind of beast. But for me, it's much more, I have a knob for my filter, and I know where it's at, and I know how it works. That's more valuable for me than having the right type of filter. I don't care about the filter sounds. I just care about how fast I can access it and how it works, and how well I know it, because that's what music making is for me. I need to know stuff, and I need it to go fast.
Yeah, definitely. Did you remember, Jacob, your smart comment?
Damn you, Bo! You had to go mention it, didn't you?
Yes,
damn you, Bo! Damn you to hell!
Keep track of things. So I think I can you know, I can cover for you at the moment, Jacob, so you can think of it more. No, but in the reason why we wanted this topic, or well, it was actually I who said I really wanted this topic on this podcast today, because I'm doing this big change in my life, where I'm I've actually resigned from one of my jobs. I had like one part-time education. I had one job in university and one job in healthcare, and these are pretty. It's not like not like working in a convenience store. These are pretty demanding jobs, and I've invested myself a lot into them. So I actually decided to cut back on work. So the 2nd of January, I resigned from my healthcare job. So the plan is to actually get more sort of physical time to devote to music, YouTube, doing creative stuff. And you guys of course know about that. But have you guys ever done something similar or thought about something similar, cutting back on work to devote yourself to something? I know, Jacob, you have probably done it a couple of times.
Yeah, like every job I have, I can't keep a job. I just can't keep a job. I'm useless. It just takes a few months.
True.
It takes me a few months to get bored on any job that I've had, even jobs that I love. I never get bored creating. I never get bored making videos. It's different. When I'm doing this, I feel like if I don't do it, I'll die. But with jobs, regular jobs, if I've been building construction roads, if I've been doing houses, do you say that? Haven't done houses. I've built on it though. I've laid stonework, I've masonry. I've done so many things, and I just end up quitting or end up sleeping over because I'm so pulled to this creative world, and I try to do that at the same time, and they always clashed because my priority has always been creativity, always. I can't make it in a normal work world, and that's mainly the reason why everything went to shits back in the days, not too long ago. So yeah, I've quit many times, and I haven't quit when I had a way to support myself. I just quit because I felt like I would die either way. So I quit. I had no money. I had nothing. So I had to sell whatever I had. And that's also one reason why I don't have lots of equipment left from the old days. So yes, I've done that. And I think you're brave for doing it, man, because it's a hard thing to do that every time.
Yeah.
I think you're really brave.
I got an advice from a guy on one of the synth forums I was in. He told me something which relates to your story. He said, if you're thinking about this and you have the possibility to do it while you're still sane and you feel pretty good about yourself and you have energy and you have a bit of money, I mean, that's a whole different beast than doing it when you're like on the low, you don't have the money, you don't have anything to fall back on. So he said, like, really think about this, because it could come a time when you have to make this choice, but it will be a much harder social situation. So that was really one thing, one perspective that helped me come to this point that, okay, I'm privileged enough to do this.
But one question there, Will.
Yeah.
Doesn't this add pressure?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, because I'm already like, because that's why I said the thing about my jobs being these jobs I'm having are jobs where you're very devoted to what you're doing, and but it's more than that. I mean, saying that you're devoted, I mean, a lot of people are devoted to their jobs, but I have jobs. My job in healthcare is a job where people are very dependent upon you. You can't like have a bad day. It's very hard to have a bad day. It's very hard to be home. It's very hard to take a day off. People who have mental health issues for very good reason depend on you. So I feel like when I resigned, I felt like it's big weight off my shoulders, really, because I love doing the job, but it had come to a point where I felt like it wasn't what I wanted to prioritize anymore, and yeah.
Can I add something?
Yeah, sure, Jacob. Go
Sorry, we've been talking a lot. Why not let Accurate just jump in here?
Yeah.
No, I was just wondering, not in life in general, but more creatively. If I lost a bit of my income from my regular job just to make music, I would feel pressured to make more music, or to make the music like to make money from the music, and that would add pressure like that for me. I wouldn't be able to sit it around here and make a beat that actually sucks. I would have to be productive and make stuff that could be something, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the pressure I'm asking for. That if I would have done something like you have done right now, I would go crazy on myself if I had one day where I didn't make a really
I'm not
nice.
saying I won't go, like I won't. I'm not saying I will sit here like in June and we're having a podcast and I've had a rough week not doing anything productive. I would probably be pretty down and bummed out about that. Of course, yeah. I mean, sure, sure. I want to succeed at some level, but I think I went into this with the mindset that I don't have to succeed.
Okay, yeah, that's makes the whole difference. Yeah.
Yeah, because I felt like doing the YouTube thing, regardless if it's talking, making music, whatever you're doing on YouTube, I think it's very problematic to go into it saying like, I need to succeed. The risk is that you kind of lose yourself very early in the process, like your personality or your personal touch. So I see it like this. If I do things I'm sincere about, I think I will succeed. But I can't have like monetary goals. I can't let that affect me. And I still make enough from doing part-time work and occasional freelancing to have a decent living. So I'm not poor in a sense, and it's not a rough financial situation for me. So I think that's something that takes a bit off my shoulders as well.
Yeah, but that's what sets you and me apart from each other, I guess. Because if you're telling me to make a song like this and like that, it's going to be problematic as hell for me, because I can't take that kinds of pressure when I'm creative. If I'm creating something, I just need to be able to, I'm doing it for the fun of it. Just add one pinch of pressure and I'm off my swag, I guess.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. So I really had to take that into account. So I told like my wife, like, don't expect me to make any money.
Yeah,
and
cool.
she's cool with that, and that's something I'm upfront with. Some people say like if you aren't focused at making money, you won't make any money. But I don't really think that applies to a lot of the creative stuff on YouTube and music. I think that if you focus on making good content, opportunity will present itself at some point if you're out there, if you're vocal about your stuff. But Jacob, you had some thought earlier?
I had something, and I'm reading two comments here, and I want to read them first and just add my bit to it, if it's okay with you guys.
Yeah, sure.
Right. So we've got like Cameron Leggett here saying being broke makes you creative and vice versa. And then we have Bantam 80 saying not necessarily, Cameron, being broke can make you depressed, which can kill your creativity stone dead. I do know both these things are just as true. Being broke makes you creative in that it did for me. So I'm talking for me, not for everyone. I'm talking for me. It made me creative in ways to support myself when I had nothing. And I just got creative with that, with life and how to get through the days. But I wasn't so creative with the music because depression killed it completely. It's just, and it sent me in a downward spiral. Since many of my viewers know that I am a sober alcoholic and a drug addict, and it sent me into a spiral where I started drinking more and using more drugs. So I was using the money I was making when trying to get by to try to kill myself instead because of depression. And I can tell you that my music, when I made music, is the saddest pieces of music there is. My only goal was to make people happy, but I was only making myself depressed. And in the end, I made everyone around me depressed. So what's keeping me alive today is, and my sobriety and me being creative is the viewers and the people I make it for. I'm always viewing what I do as a job I do to provide someone else with help, with something. And that makes me happy. Even when I'm depressed, all those viewers, all you viewers out there are just making me happy. And that's how I'm able to continue. So as you said, Bo, I didn't go into this with a monetary thing in mind, but now I have to think about that too, because I can't go around doing this for this much time and not having a regular job and supporting myself economically. It's not going to work. But I did not go into this with money in mind. I do it for you. I didn't do it for myself, and it was the only thing I could do. So I'm glad it helps, because I get a lot of love and respect from all viewers.
Yeah, you definitely do. I think people really like your content, and people, I mean, every time I bring up the podcast in some situation, people are always like, yeah, Jacob, people know you and seen your stuff, and I think people really resonate with what you're doing, so that's pretty cool. And I think I have the same mindset, with if I would do this long term, this new devotion to being creative, if I would do it long term, I would definitely have to start thinking about the monetary side in due time. But it's not something I'm going in with.
I think that's the right way to go, because you have a personality. Andreas has his personality, and it's working for me. I love your stuff, and so does a lot of viewers. So yeah, just keep doing what you're doing the way you're doing it, and it's good that we're different and not alike. I like this mix.
Definitely.
Andreas, do you have any thoughts now? I mean, about the monetary thing and everything like that. What are you thinking? What are you thinking now?
Well, when it comes to money and income, I think I'm settled with my day job, and I'm happy about it. And if I can get money from this hobby enough to make my hobby even more fun, I guess that's pretty much my goal. I'm doing a Patreon thing and stuff like that. Enable that I wanted to enable me to make to produce a 12-inch vinyl and release music. So if I get money from doing this music thing and videos, I'm gonna put it back into music, because I know I'm not gonna live off my beats or my videos or anything like that, and I've realized that like 10 years ago. So I'm making my beats, I'm making my videos, and if I get some money, I'm gonna put it right back into the productivity and have this as a living hobby until I'm 85 years old.
Yeah.
So that's my goal. And if I can live off of this, if I can do lectures or classes of music production, then yeah, of course I'm gonna take that opportunity and do it. But I don't see that coming anytime soon, and it's not my goal. So I want to do this for myself, I guess, and for my crew and my friends. Make music and just have fun. And this is I also have a pretty demanding job, day job. So be able to come home, make some music, get all the thoughts out there. That's all I need, basically. Money, yeah, that's cool, but that's not why I do this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's rewarding enough to see like people enjoying your stuff, and then I think all of us get these occasional things where we get some promotional material or something sent to us, or a couple of Patreons that support us, and that's also, so of course, very, very cool, and I'm very thankful for that as well. I think that's, I mean, if I do this, like take like half time, like half of my week devoting to making music, getting into creating sounds and something like that. If I do that and it just ends, I just end up where I'm at today, with having loads of nice people to interact with, having a cool podcast, and getting something from companies occasionally. I think that's super cool. I mean, that's more than I can really ask for, really, from a hobby. So I think
Do you both like see this as you do as a hobby? Because I see my stuff as work, and I'm actually getting booked now for doing lectures and stuff, because that's what I'm planning on doing lectures and videos for developers. So I'm turning this into a job. But how do you guys view what you do?
Bosse.
I've been talking too much already. Yeah, well, I see it as I see it as a hobby and a passion. But when I work with it, I have a mindset that it's work. So my mindset is that it's work, but I don't call it work. I call it a hobby, a side project or something like that. But I still have this. I have this work ethic that I can really put in the hours if I have a project that I want to get done. So I think I have a pretty professional mindset when it comes to it. I'm not saying my product is professional in any way, but I have a mindset that I use. Like, for example, when I did the Circuit Christmas Challenge, I worked with Damien Woods over on Circuit Owners Forum, a really great guy, and he was also super professional. I mean, this was a pure hobby project between us, the two of us, and he was super professional. And I think I could meet him at that level, and we could do something that was, I mean, the product itself might not be perfect, but I think we really delivered a professional approach to it anyway. So I think that's my take on it. What about you, Accurate?
Well, the same thing again about pressure. I can't handle pressure creatively, and I don't want to put pressure on myself unless it's just positive pressure that has to do with production. Like my 12 days of Christmas thing, I pressured myself and I forced myself to make one video a day for 12 or 13 days. That's good pressure for me. Negative, bad pressure for me should be consider this a job, or get some kind of income from this and have to get like this amount of dollars each month. That would pressure me in a way that's just bad. So I see this whole thing as a hobby, nothing else. It's just a hobby, and I value it a lot. It's not just a hobby, like it's a fun thing to do from time to time, like playing a video game. No, this means much more to me, but it's still a hobby because I do it for my own enjoyment, and that's about it. Of course, I have a mindset that I want to finish this. I want to make this beat tape. I want to make this cassette together with my friends, and I want to do this. I want to do that, and I need to do it, and I have this deadline. Yeah, that's motivation for me. But motivation and pressure, there are two different things for me. And pressure, that's not a hobby anymore. I still want this to be a hobby. Even if I make all my money on this, I want to consider it a hobby first and a job second, because I have an education and I have a job. I have a mission in my job, I guess. So this is just a hobby. If this can expand and generate some income, that's super great. That's actually what I'm dreaming about. That's what I'm dreaming of. But that's not going to happen, so it's still a hobby, and I want it to be a hobby.
Well, your
if
Patreon
that makes sense, I don't know.
Yeah, we never know. Your Patreon might go blowing up. So It might
No,
not be.
I'm just super happy I get that the traffic I get on YouTube. I have like 7,000 subscribers right now. That's really thankful. I love that. I love being able to inspire and make music and make people want to watch my videos and stuff like that. I think it's fantastic. I'm super happy and I'm glad about it. But don't make me do something I don't want to do, and don't pressure me to make me feel like I have to do something. In that case, I'm just going to shut down my account like that.
Yeah.
I can't handle pressure that well.
Yeah. I don't know about you, Jacob, but I get the feeling like I'm the kind of guy that handles pressure pretty well. I think I work best when I'm pretty pressured. So that's why I like have this kind of work ethic thing that I have to do. Like somebody in the chat asked a really interesting question: if I have the same approach to my music as I have to my videos. So the thing is, I'm like Jacob. I don't really do well. I have a little album thing going on, but I don't do a lot of music outside of YouTube. YouTube is my music arena at the moment, and I think it's because it works for me as a creative person. It encompasses all different aspects of me into one forum. Like I can be vocal about stuff, I can make music, I can show sounds, I can teach. Everything I like to do. I like to talk. I like to be vocal with my thoughts, and I like to show stuff. So that's why I have this work ethic when it comes to YouTube, because it's such a fun project where music becomes this really interesting vehicle that I can use to get in touch with people, to approach people. But I really need the pressure. I can't, if I like say that something drops tomorrow for the circuit. Like tomorrow I don't have to work so much tomorrow. So say something drops for the circuit, which I often cover a lot. I would probably go up. I would like tell my wife I have to do a video. Bam, bam, bam. I would do it. Work really hard on it. And I need that kind of pressure. If I don't feel like I have that kind of pressure, I won't get going.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to cut in there. You can go ahead.
No, I just realized I come off as a crazy person here.
No.
What?
I don't think you.
Yeah,
I don't think you come off of
because
that.
I agree with you. I'm the same way. I need pressure and I feed off pressure the same way. But I need the one person to pressure me to be this guy.
Yes, I get that.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
If anyone else tells me, or if I just feel like I have to do something, I'm not going to do it because I'm a cranky old lady like that.
Yeah.
I can add a bit there, because I mean I work with developers and I also have a really huge ego, Andreas and Bo. I know you do, you guys, definitely.
Also, what do you mean by that?
Yeah. Oh, come on. We all have egos, and we all love those egos. The thing is, when you work with a developer and they say, "I don't want that," that's the problem usually for the ego. That's a problem. There used to be a problem for me, but like when I work with AudioBus, Sebastian Dittman is very, very specific about what he wants, and he tells me straight out there, and that gives me pressure. But I can work with that because I know exactly what this guy wants. The hardest thing for me is not having any pressure, as Bo said, like not knowing what to do, or if there's something that needs to be done, then I also feel needed. I feel like I have a goal. I feel like I'm pressured and I can start working, and I'm absolutely ballistic over this. I go crazy. I go insane. I also tell my girlfriend that, like, you're not going to see me for a day now. So I have to do this, and she supports all my shenanigans, and she's amazing. And I do work, I do it until I crash, and then it's done. And when the client or the viewer comes and says, "This is awesome," then it's still not enough. I need to do another one. I need more pressure. I need to do more stuff. That's what happens. I keep working, and if I didn't have that, I would just lie down and do nothing. I'm not doing anything. Like you say, Bo, you lay down, you rest for like 2 days, and then you make 10 videos like that. Now I've tried to spread it out, so I make like a video every second day, and then I think about what to do with the video, basically.
Yeah, I've started to do that a lot more because it's more healthy and it's more practical in many ways when you have a family, but still it's just basic differences in how we work. But I think, how do you guys feel? I think we've pretty much emptied this topic, or what do you think?
Sure.
Yeah.
We could go on for hours, it sounds like, but
yeah, but I think we are about we have been 1 hour, 1.5 hours soon.
Yep.
So I think that's a pretty decent length for the podcast.
yeah. I just want to ask you guys, like, super, really quick. The NAMM show is coming up. I think we all are pretty much interested. Do you guys have anything specific in mind? And let's not go to the NPC anymore. Just
yeah. The thing is, Korg like announced that the Korg gadget is gonna come to Mac, right? And I saw this new gadget. It's called Zurich. And there's another one that looks like a guitar pedal, and I'm going ballistic here because I love it. So I have two friends there. Brian Kupfersmith, he's got a YouTube channel, and it's basically his name. He's going to be at NAMM. He's probably going to do some videos and stuff. And then we've got another blogger called Tom Weiss. He's going to make this interview with or talk to the core guys. So I'm looking forward to that a lot. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just sitting here hoping to see some new footage on his channel. I wish I could be there. So yeah, that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Does anyone know, I haven't checked on stuff today, does anyone know anything about the Core Gadget for Mac thing?
Yeah, I read up a little on it, but
cool.
I didn't really, I mean, it's an application for, as far as I can tell, it's very, very, very similar to the mobile application.
It's like you've got two iPad screens beside each other on the screen, and that's the whole thing. It's right there. So it's basically the same operation of it. That's what it looks like to me. And then there's
it's connectable through maybe VST, or
the gadgets are even compatible with VSTs and stuff now. So come on, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that could be really cool. Crazy. It sounds like something, for people to get into if you're a beginner, like having this all-in-one system. I'm really looking forward to seeing if Teenage Engineering will do any news on the OPZ.
Yeah, Cameron Leggett said the same thing just now when you.
Yeah, someone in the chat room asked me for like an hour ago what I think about the OPC, the audio and the video-wise. Perspective, and I don't understand the video thing at all. I don't.
Of course you don't.
Get it. What?
It's like akin to the touch screen. It's like this gimmicky stuff. We have problems.
Why should you add that kinds of stuff to a great little synthesizer?
Yeah,
that's just crap to me.
I don't know.
And it's all presets, right? Yeah. It's all I want this guy in this background, and no, if I want to do some artsy stuff for video, I want to paint them myself. I want to create them from the beginning. Yeah. I don't want to make a collage of things that I can pick and choose.
I think it looks cool. I think it would be cool in a live setting. I mean, I love working with visuals and sounds, but I don't know that much about it. I only know about the OPs and the POs. And what I'm hoping for is new pocket operators. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, because I love those things.
It's good that we can disagree. Somebody said that we were like the UN, so super diplomatic. So it's good that we can disagree. We know Accurate. Accurate doesn't like the what do you say, I lost the word, but these sort of add-on things that doesn't really make sense, because I can't really see the idea with the. I mean, it's cool idea on the set with the video and all. It looks really cool, and I would probably use it a lot because I don't care about the things you care about with making your own stuff. I I'm super happy that I don't have to make my own stuff because I'm lazy like that. But
I just don't think don't think it goes hand in hand with the synthesizer or the. Okay, I'm comparing to the OP1, of course, but I think Teenage Engineering's the OP1 is all about exploration and exploring things and going out on crazy adventures. And you can't do that with presets on video. I just don't get the function. But I'm super excited about the OPZ, whatever it's called. I am, because the synthesizer engines is similar to the OP1, and you don't have a screen. I love that. You don't have a screen. You just have those knobs.
I love that too.
Boom.
I will probably, I mean, if it's not utter crap, I will. I mean, if it's not in the category of utter crap products, like like where people usually put the Timberwolf, if it's anything but, I mean, I can say that it's not too politically incorrect in this setting. I'm just saying what people are saying. I'm not taking sides here, Akai. I'm not taking sides here. But if it's not that level of crap, I will most likely pick up the OPZ for sure, because I've been dying for OP1, but I mean, I have so much shit in the studio. I will just spend a lot of time learning it and not use something else. So
that's interesting, by the way. Do you use everything, Bo, or is there like gear that you've noticed, like, oh, there's a whole lot of dust here,
there's
I
a
don't
whole
like
fucking
it
box
because
over there. No,
right.
but no, I like the small things, like the Volca, the PO, like some MIDI keyboards. I have some small ones. Those I use just occasionally when I want to use just them, for example, when on the move or something. But then the big setup is set up so I use it with the Octatrack. So all the big synthesizers can be set up to either work with Octatrack or the Machine Studio seamlessly. So in that sense, I use like the majority of my stuff is interconnected. So that's how
What
I use
about
it.
you, Andreas? Do you use all the stuff you have there? Because I've seen your videos. It looks like you're using everything.
I don't have that much as Bo does. I just have the OP1, the machine, and the little Korg Volca FM. And the Volca FM, yeah, I use it, but not for every project or every session. But everything is connected, so I can just just reach out for it, and it'll work. But I wanted to get one of the OP1's one of the PO machines, and I realized, no, I'm not going to use that because I have everything I need. So that's my problem. As always, I don't know what to get.
I think if I were focused more on only making like an album, if that was like, or making beats for a beat tape or something, I would probably cut down on some of the stuff I have. But since my passion is like people, gear, people gear, and making music, those three things are like my passions, equal parts. That's why I have a lot of stuff, because I'm like the gear guy. I love to have a lot of stuff because I can learn. I love to learn new stuff. That's sort of what drives me. I mean, if I could, I would probably have a ton more just to learn it. I would like to get an OP1 just to learn it, and to show other people.
And cool. I totally get that, but I think the OPZ or OPZ is the same kind of beast, but you don't have the sorting possibilities, and you don't have all the. I mean, the OP1 is a workstation basically, and the OPC is a synthesizer. So I think that's more down your line anyway.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of guy you are.
But I want to sample more. But okay, so I think we should probably call this a night, right? It looks like that accurate. Is the missus calling you?
Oh no! Someone in the chat room said we should check out Teenage Engineering's Instagram because they have put out a teaser.
Yeah, I saw that too. That's what
I'm doing.
That's
what I'm trying to do.
I absolutely love Teenage Engineering and what they do, and I've had the privilege of meeting the guys several times because their factories or office is right down here in Stockholm. and they're so, just talking to the people building the actual things and stuff, they're so crazy. They're so crazy. They're so amazing. And they really care about what they do. When they talk about their stuff, it's, yeah, you get very moved. And it's like that with like every developer. I just love talking to developers. I would love to meet some AKAI people. You know, they're saying that AKAI is taking a beating here in the chat. And I must say that I've used AKAI Studio Gear in the past. That's what I've done. What are you trying to show, Andreas?
What the fuck is this?
I don't know. What is that?
I don't know.
That's the t-shirt thing on Teenage Engineering Instagram. It just says coming soon, Teenage Engineering NAMM 2017, and the number of the booth. Is this representative of the OPC in some way that I don't understand?
Are you sure that video is displaying properly there?
No, of course it's
just
not.
it's just an image.
Yeah, that's just an image, but it's a microphone and the thing above it. I don't understand.
It's pulsating. What?
It's not pulsating. No. Oh, the same way as I'm doing on my computer screen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
On their Instagram. This is like a microphone and a block on top of it. I don't understand anything.
I am so confused right now.
This is the low pass podcast, Jacob. Nothing else.
What is happening? This, you know, my low pass filter is down in the bottom. I can't get anything through.
All right, I think that's a good note to end on for today. What do you guys think? Is it cool to call it a night?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for showing up. You've been awesome talking to us in the chat here and everything. We will, of course, be doing this again. We don't know exactly when, but we will be telling you when. And the thing is, the way that YouTube works now with the telling you when we actually upload videos, what do you call it? The notifications. What you can do if you didn't do it the first time, if you want to get notified, you do this. You unsubscribe to the channel, and then you subscribe, and then a bell will pop up, and you click that bell, and when that bell is ticked, you will get notified every time we put up a new video, because we will announce on this channel when we are going to go live, and we're going to try to do it a few days in advance. Yeah,
and we're thinking of having it on Thursdays, right? Yeah. About this time?
Yes.
Every other Thursday?
Every second week, right? Like every other Thursday. And also, for those of you who can't watch this, if you're at work or something, we have a SoundCloud account. Go to our About page. There are links there. We put up the first pod there. And as soon as this video goes up, I'm going to rip it in audio and put it up there at the SoundCloud account. So you can have access to that too. Just listen to it how much you want, and even download the file if you want that.
I guess we're not promising anything right now, but in 2 weeks, it's the 26th of January, and that's 2 weeks from now. So that could be our next live stream, I guess.
Yeah. I think that sounds...
Let's just mention that date out there, just so we have maybe promised someone something.
Yeah.
We are going to make this a regular thing. But thank you so much, everyone. I've had a great time, and thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Thank you
too.
As well.
Yeah.
Right. So, thanks everybody.
Bye.
Bye.